Hello one and all, welcome back to ArcheAge Inspiration. My name is Cilantro. Today's rolls are 3, 5, and 10, so let's see what we get here. That would be Occultism, Songcraft, and Vitalism. That's going to be fun. See what kind of cool name we get here. That makes us into a Sorrowsong. Excellent. Alright, let's see what we got. So I'm going to take two quick looks at the Sorrowsong. One of them is going to be for a hybrid DPS slash healer, and the other one is going to be for a pure DPS build. So the hybrid. I've taken a few offensive abilities from Songcraft and Occultism. So we have Hellspear, Mana Force to get people away from us, Stillness to cancel out of any fears that affect us, and then we have Startling Strain, which is always a great ability. The stun is nice, and the charm effect, of course, allows you to fear somebody with critical discord. Other offensive abilities technically include Antithesis as well as Mirror Light. Mirror Light increases the target's damage taken. Always good. Antithesis. Whoa, got a mutated flesh golem popping up in front of us. Antithesis is a damage spell with decent scaling. The base damage is okay, 1076, and then it does scale 220% magic attack, so not bad. We pick up a few offensive passives as well. Zeal gives us a higher critical rate. Note that this will trigger both with your own healing and critical, but it will also affect your own healing and critical. So Rhythmic Renewal kind of fills in that slot when you're in a group fight. Even if you're in DPS mode, a little bit of healing you can get for this isn't too bad. It's a pretty big radius, so I'd highly recommend dropping it down. It is a little expensive on the mana, but it is a nice trickle heal that does trigger some of your passives while it is in effect. Hummingbird Ditty and Aaron Zip's Boon are standard buffs. Your cast speed is increased twice with up tempo, as well as Alms, giving you a nice cast speed. Also supplementing the critical boost you get from Zeal is Invigorated Healing, giving you even higher critical heals when necessary. Loudspeaker and Hold the Note are picked up exclusively for Bloody Shanty, which here is used more as a temporary supplement rather than something that you'll be doing in full time. If you decide to go to offensive mode, if somebody really needs to die very quickly, you can use Bloody Shanty after hitting the target with Mirror Light to reduce the healing effectiveness that they receive, and then Startling Strain followed up by Critical Discords will allow you to dump a bunch of damage into a target. I'd highly recommend using a staff and a Great Club for this build. I happen to have the tier 2 Hassla of each of these. You can use these to cycle between based on what type of damage you're doing. So for example, if you're casting Skewer on a target, and you're already in healing mode, so right there I just equipped my healing Great Club. If you're casting Skewer on a target, as soon as you start casting it, you can switch over your damage and it will inflict the damage. Likewise, when you're going to cast Antithesis on somebody, you can switch over to your healing weapon and get the full effect. Decent amount of versatility here. Probably a pretty high skill ceiling. You don't have a whole lot of abilities to actually get anybody off of you. Hellspear into Mana Force is probably your best way to escape a dangerous situation. If you see a bunch of people getting grouped up on somebody that's in the fight and they're beating them up, a long-range Skewer can do not only a decent chunk of damage, you can see up there it's about 2,500 damage without any scaling, but it also a 2.5 second AoE stun at range, quite a powerful ability, and 25 meter range to be exact, so it has a much longer range than you might think. Other standard healing stuff, Fervent Healing, Healing Hymn, nothing too outlandish. Resurgence as well for extra healing. So for a DPS and healing hybrid, kind of interesting. I think it'd be fun to take into a dungeon, if anything. I mean, a lot of these abilities will work quite well in PvE, Hellspear, Skewer. Might have some mana issues, but otherwise could be pretty interesting. So that's it for the hybrid version of Sorrowsong. Let's take a look at the DPS version. Okay, so our second look at the Sorrowsong didn't quite turn out as good as I hoped. It's one of those builds that looks a little bit better in theory than it is in practice. The idea is to go crit overboard, triggering all of your damage and crit passives from Occultism by means of Rhythmic Renewal, Resurgence, and of course any damage you actually take. Hopefully triggering here Intensified Harm, 50% extra critical damage, 20% extra critical damage with Macabre Reach, Zeal, 75% more critical damage there, Reprisal gives you a 20% crit rate, as well as a just straight up damage boost with overpowered spell locus. In theory, it should work pretty well. In practice, not so much. It's a little too hard to fish for too many crits. If there were some more AoE spells you could possibly do, like Summon Wraith would be nice. Its overall damage isn't that great, but it sure would be a lot of potential criticals to trigger all these things. But if you like having a lot of pictures on your hotbar, boy, this is definitely the build for you then. Because what you can do is eat some food, drink some Soup. Get a couple pictures there, and then you can drop down this picture, rhythmic renewal, and then you can give yourself that picture, and then this picture, and then you can cast this. And look at all those pictures. Oh my God, so many pictures. It's like a portrait gallery. Like you just didn't even know how many pictures I had. Actually, forgot one of my pictures here. Sorry, that's my bad. My bad. So let's try this again. All right, getting some more pictures here. Hopefully, some of these will trigger more often. Give myself a heal. Hey! Not with the fear. I guess fear is technically a picture, so there's that. So, in theory, this could potentially do some okay damage, but again, in practice, like, Crippling Mire is just doesn't scale very well. Even with all the critical stuff, you're not going to crit enough for it to actually be relevant, unfortunately. As you can see, the overall damage, I mean, this is against almost no mitigation, so even with Bloody Shanty to boost the damage while it's going, it's still not all that much. But you do get a lot of pictures. So for the art aficionados out there who really just like seeing a lot of pictures on their hotbar, I mean, I guess this would be pretty intimidating for somebody. Like, holy crap, that dude's got a lot of pictures, man. I don't know. He might be trying to take over the world with some sort of art gallery or something. And I almost died. And I might die anyway. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, we survive. So anyway, I had a little bit of fun with this one. Not every build's going to be super viable or even super interesting, but it's always fun to find some sort of interaction. So both of these builds will be available in the description below as normal. And as always, thanks for watching ArcheAge Inspiration, and I'll see you next time.